Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the new Spin Master Monsters University Scare Students. We're looking today at Mike. Mike features a posable eye and body. Down below, you can see both Mike and Sully hanging out around the banner of Disney Pixar's Monsters University, which is coming soon to theaters. It's going to be one that Spot will be checking out. Spot picked this up at Toys R Us, and actually the figures themselves were running about $10. Not too bad. Not too bad for movie-themed figures. I like, too, that they're also small and compact. I'll do a scale comparison with Sully after we get this opened up. On the back of the package, a nice picture of Mike. Billy Crystal, once again, reprising his role of Mike. John Goodman, respectively, for Sully. It says, meet Mike and Sully's classmates and find out how they became friends. You can collect all the Scare students. We got Mike, Johnny. Zoom in? Absolutely. We have Mike, Johnny, Squishy, OK Sully, Art, Randy, Terry, and Sully. This comes to us, again, from the good folks at Spin Master. You can go to spinmaster.com if you want to check out more toys that they're producing. What I am going to do is take a break. I'm going to get this open up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Scare Students Mike. Don't go anywhere, guys. More on the way. Having a look at Mike, you can see one thing that he does come with is an MU hat. A little cap right on top of his head. I don't know how it stays on his head. He doesn't really have hair or proper molding on his head. I guess his horns would keep it on. I like the fact that even they've given him like a worn hat. Something, of course, carried it into the movie. He's smaller. He's a much smaller in scale to, let's say, his colleague. Bring in Sully. You can see the difference between the two. I would say, no, they're pretty good. Sully could have been maybe a little bit taller, but still, on a toy level, they're still complementing each other rather well. Moving Sully out of the way. Mike is a nice, vibrant green, almost the color of a lime, like a lime Jolly Rancher. Is there such a thing as a lime Jolly Rancher? No, Spot's thinking of apple. Spot just had a brain freeze. Spot's thinking of apple. But he is a nice bright green. It looks as if he's also got himself some braces. Can you see them right there as well? Some braces right along his teeth there. Once again, reflection in eye is always a good way to give depth to a cartoon's eye. He feels hollow, like he feels like there's nothing really inside of him. He's relatively light, certainly in weight comparison. Sully is a lot heavier, but that makes some sense. His posability, he's not super posable. That's unfortunately the only problem. You can see that he has rotations in the feet. So you can rotate his feet sideways, I guess, if he wants to sit down or, if he's got heat stroke. But you can rotate the legs. Not really too much. The arms themselves rotate back and forth, and they also rotate out. This arm's not so much of an issue, because the arm is bent down, obviously. Because that hinge works back and forth in and out, the arm certainly would sit at a natural pose. Unfortunately, this arm here, because where it is currently sculpted, you can have the arm down, you can have it up, and you can have it out. But it is always going to kind of stick itself out. It's never going to be as far down as this arm here. As you can see, that's about as far as one can get with it. So its more natural pose is probably likely to have Mike waving. That's probably the way you're going to want to have him at all times. Unless you kind of just want him as if he's going to clothesline somebody. I don't know. You could do that as well. The big gimmick for this toy is the fact that he's got a posable eye. To pose it, pretty much just going to put your thumb on the eye and rotate it. You can rotate the eye left, up, down. It has a little bit of an issue when it comes to the other section, this side of his eye, this side of his body. You kind of have to do a little finagling, I find at least, to get the eye to rotate all the way on this side. But it still works. can still get some movement. And I suppose after a while, you can see it loosens itself up. So maybe it's just some early packaging. As soon as you get it out of packaging, you know, you're going to have to just play around with it a bit. I don't know which way I would have the eye. I mean, that's an odd question to ask myself. Which way should I have Mike's eye facing? I suppose what I would do is, if anyone really cared, is I probably would have the eye this way. Then, if I'm going to have him posed sideways, I can have Mike kind of like this. And really, what we could do, we could have him posing like so. You can kind of have him on the shelf like that. That is a picture moment right there. Friends forever, just like the Zack attack from Saved by the Bell. How was that for a reference? I really thought they did a great job on Sully. The superposable arms definitely make this figure a really neat figure to have. I like Mike though. I do like Mike, and as a contrast, I think these two work really, really well on a shelf. Problems, unfortunately, with the figure maybe necessarily is that the arm doesn't go. There's not really a proper way to put the arm down. You kind of always have the arm up. But I like the posable eye. I think that's a really neat accessory, a really neat gimmick for the toy itself. And he's just a fun figure. He's a fun figure to have him next to Sully on the shelf. Mike, I'm going to give Mike an 8. These are now in your local retail stores, and Spot picked this up at Toys R Us. They were roughly about $10. They're not super pricey. So I mean, if you wanted to pick these up, unfortunately, the only ones I was really able to find was Mike and Sully. Perhaps if I can find these at other locations, I'll pick up the other monsters. I'll certainly review those for you as well. Today's Toy Spot, however, we were having a look at the new Spin Master Pixar's Monsters University. We're looking today at Mike. Like Mike. Want to be like Mike. Mike with his hat. And that's a really neat looking hat, by the way. As always, thank you guys for watching. Certainly stick around. Spot's got more toy spots heading your way, as always. As always, thank you guys, though, for watching. See you next time.